Now, I don't know if there's a screw loose. I don't know if we just lack emotional control. I don't know if we just lack self-control, self-awareness. I'm not sure what the issue is with Dijonai, but she just can't seem to contain herself.
We've seen physical games, we've seen rivalries, but this was something else entirely. And it just might be the moment the WNBA tips off the cliff.
Who hurt you, Dijonai? Ever since the season tipped off, you have been a one-person wrecking ball, wrecking havoc on the floor, wrecking havoc after the game, approaching officials, eye-raking Jessica Shepard.
Because last night, Dijonai Carrington went full-on unhinged mode, and it wasn't during a loose ball. It wasn't during a heated play. It was after the buzzer, when the game was over, when things were supposed to cool down. Instead, she turned that court into a combat zone, and her target, 6'4", Satou Sabally, former All-Star, vocal leader, and, until now, one of the few players keeping it professional amid the chaos engulfing this league. Let me paint the picture for you. The final whistle blows. Phoenix just mopped the floor with Dallas. It wasn't close. It wasn't controversial. It was a straight up beatdown, but instead of walking off and maybe doing some soul searching like a grown adult, Dijonai Carrington chose violence. She circled, she stalked, she crept up behind Satou Sabally like it was WWE SmackDown, and Sabally had just stolen her championship belt. The Mercury players are still in their huddle, high-fiving, debriefing the win, and suddenly, boom, Carrington tries to charge through them. And what for? Was it a misunderstanding? A foul gone too far? Oh, this was personal. This was calculated chaos. You could see it in her eyes. This wasn't heat of the moment. This was deliberate. She waited until Sabally let her guard down and then went after her. The Phoenix broadcast team said they were surprised that security didn't step in earlier to defuse the situation after the game ended. There is some serious drama going on here after this ball game ended. One broadcaster said, "I'm surprised security is not out there a little bit more between the players." Another said, "They're letting them talk, just walk them off." And what did the league do? Nothing. Kathy Engelbert, this is your league, right? So why are your players out here acting like they're auditioning for a reboot of Bad Girls Club? Where are the suspensions? Where is the statement? What are we even doing?
Yes, I said it. You guys have allowed Dijonai Carrington to continue to run around like a menace. We got her karate chopping Skylar Diggins' head off on a fast break, pretending like she was going for the ball. We got her pulling Sarah Ashley Barker ponytail down, pulling her to the ground out of midair by her hair, pulling her all the way down through the floor by her hair. We have all type of blatant, flagrant fouls that you guys keep rescinding because you guys do not care about player safety.
Carrington's teammates had to physically hold her back as she lunged towards Sabally like she'd blacked out and thought she was in an underground fight club. This isn't intensity. This isn't competitiveness. This is a player who has absolutely lost control, and no one's stepping in to check her. And let's be clear, this is not a one-off. This is not a random flare-up. This is a pattern that's been building like a pressure cooker since the season tipped off, because Dijonai Carrington has become the face of dysfunction in the WNBA. Every week, there's a new headline, a new scuffle, a new target. She's pulling hair, barking in people's faces, body-checking players after the whistle, and now escalating to post-game assaults? And yet, somehow, she's allowed to keep playing.
Keep the Dallas Wings and Dijonai Carrington far away from Caitlin Clark. Keep the Dallas Wings and Dijonai Carrington far away from Aaliyah Boston. Keep the Dallas Wings and Dijonai Carrington far away from Lexi Hall. Keep the Dallas Wings and Dijonai Carrington far away from Kelsey Mitchell. Keep the Dallas Wings and Dijonai Carrington far away. She might even try to go after Stephanie White for all I know. Keep Dijonai Carrington away from my team.
Let's talk history. This isn't even the first time Carrington and Sabally have gotten into it. Go look up their face-off during the 2023 Unrivaled one-on-one showcase. They were already bumping shoulders, jawing at each other, dang near throwing hands then. The tension's been simmering for years, and now it's finally boiled over. But instead of cooling off with maturity, Carrington has leaned into the chaos. It's not even about basketball anymore. It's about ego. It's about attention. It's about being the loudest, most disruptive, most chaotic force on the floor, regardless of whether your team is 1-10 and in free fall. And let's be real, if you were watching last night and didn't see this coming, you haven't been paying attention. Dijonai Carrington has spent this entire season building toward this exact kind of meltdown. She's been throwing elbows like it's a Zumba class for pirates. She's been jawing at opponents, shoving through screens like they insulted her family name. And now she's crossed the final line, putting hands on a fellow player after the buzzer in what looked like a calculated act of intimidation. And again, where is the league? Where is the response? Where is the commissioner of a professional sports league, Kathy Engelbert? She's out here talking about league expansion and ticket sales like she's running a startup in a trust circle. Meanwhile, her players are turning the WNBA into the Thunderdome. You cannot keep talking about growing the game while your athletes are out here looking like they're filming Real Housewives. Elbow edition.
Remember the last time I said, since the refs won't handle her doing all these flagrants, somebody gonna have to step up and fight. Now we're after the game and she's approaching someone to fight. She's approaching someone hostile.
Because here's the thing, if this was Aja Wilson or Brianna Stewart being rushed after the whistle, oh, you better believe there'd be statements, fines, suspensions, maybe even legal conversations. But Sabally, nah, she's just supposed to take it, like it's part of the job to be attacked in a handshake line. Let me ask you something, would this be tolerated in the NBA? Can you imagine if Marcus Smart waited until the game ended and then tried to jump Jason Tatum in the handshake line? That's front page news. That's a multi-game suspension. That's a league crisis. But here we get crickets, maybe a soft press release if we're lucky, maybe a meaningless fine and a vague "we take sportsmanship seriously" tweet. Enough. Can't keep letting Carrington torpedo the league's credibility because she's entertaining. Because that's what this is about, isn't it? The drama brings views, the chaos gets clicks, it trends on Twitter, and the WNBA, desperate for mainstream attention, is treating it like a feature, not a bug. But here's the problem, it's not sustainable, because while Carrington is busy throwing post-game moves, the rest of the league is trying to build something real, something respected, something lasting, and every time DJ goes full Tasmanian devil, she takes a sledgehammer to all of it. She doesn't just hurt her opponents, she hurts the brand, the players who play clean, the young girls watching at home who think this is what intensity is supposed to look like. Let's make one thing clear. This was not passion. This was predatory. This was disgusting. And if the WNBA doesn't punish this immediately and seriously, it's sending a message. You can assault someone after the game. Just make sure you're entertaining while doing it. And if that's the future of this league, it's not rising, it's burning. Carrington didn't go after a random bench warmer. She didn't lash out at someone who bumped her midair or stepped on her foot. No, she made a beeline for Satou Sabally, 6'4", composed international star, Olympics medalist, and someone who's respected globally for how she carries herself. But maybe that's exactly why DJ chose her, because this isn't random. This is strategic chaos. Carrington only throws her weight around when she knows she can get away with it. You ever notice that? She doesn't get chippy with the Alyssa Thomases or the Candace Parkers of the world. She doesn't walk up to Aja Wilson ready to square up because she knows better. This isn't a wrecking ball. It's a guided missile aimed at players she thinks won't retaliate. That's not toughness. That's cowardice with glitter on it. And meanwhile, Kathy Engelbert is sitting in a boardroom somewhere drafting another one of her passionless "we strive for excellence" tweets, while the league she's supposed to be leading turns into a full contact soap opera. You know what this needs? Needs stern leadership. It needs someone with a spine. It needs someone to walk into that locker room and say, "That's not how we represent this league. You're suspended, period." But that's not what's happening. Instead, DJ Carrington's out here walking away like the main character in a CW drama, head high, attitude louder than her jump shot, like she just won something. You didn't win, DJ. You embarrassed your team, you embarrassed the league, and you put another player's safety in jeopardy. After the final buzzer, let's be clear, this isn't about emotion. This isn't about a bad day at the office. This is assault on a basketball court. Plain and simple. And now fans are turning. Comment sections are on fire. And the court of public opinion? It's already rendered a verdict. This was shameful. People aren't even talking about the game anymore. They're not talking about Paige Bucher's dropping buckets. They're not talking about Phoenix's dominance or Sabally's potential comeback season. They're talking about Carrington throwing post-game fits like a toddler in a tiara. And guess what? That's a win for DJ Carrington. And a loss for everybody else, because now the narrative isn't about talent, it's about temper. It's not about rising stars, it's about flying fists. And while the league scrambles to do PR triage, we're watching the WNBA turn into a train wreck with glitter. And yet, Carrington hasn't been benched, she hasn't been fined, she hasn't been suspended. Why? Because drama gets attention, because the league is scared of losing momentum, because they'd rather have viral clips than uphold actual standards. But here's the reality they're ignoring. Drama without discipline destroys everything. Ask the NFL how long they let chaos slide before it blew up. Ask the NBA what happened when brawls spilled into the stand. You either get ahead of it, or it eats your league from the inside. And where are the veterans? Where's Skylar Diggins-Smith, the self-declared queen of smoke? Silent, invisible, mute. Not a word, not a tweet, not a glare in Carrington's direction. You know what that tells us? The inmates are running the asylum. And the ones who should be. Setting the tone, they're either asleep or complicit. This isn't a league anymore. It's a chaotic AAU tournament with a salary. And if you think it ends with Carrington, you're dreaming, because every game she gets away with this behavior is a green light for the next player to do the same, and eventually someone's gonna get hurt, seriously hurt, and when that happens, it won't be on the player, it'll be on the league, it'll be on Kathy Engelbert, it'll be on every teammate who stayed silent, it'll be on every vet who refused to speak up, and here's the most dangerous part of all. Caitlin Clark is watching, she's watching all of this unfold. She's watching teammates get jumped, fans get trashed, and players act like it's Fight Club, commissioners cut. And how long before she says, you know what, I'm good, Europe's calling, because you think those Euro teams are going. To tolerate this? You think overseas leagues, built around discipline and respect, are going to let DJ Carrington run around like a bouncer at a nightclub? Not a chance. And the minute Clark or any star decides this league isn't worth the risk, it's game over. Not for Carrington, not for Engelbert, but for the entire WNBA. You want to grow the game? Start by protecting the players who play it the right way. Start by punishing those who don't. Start by acting like this league is worth more than a Twitter trend. Because right now, the WNBA is bleeding credibility by the elbow, and Dijonai Carrington is out here swinging like it's open mic night at WrestleMania. And unless the league steps in hard, fast, and loud, this won't be the last time we see a post-game handshake. Line turn into a street fight. It'll just be the beginning. Comment below if you're sick of the chaos and ready to see real consequences. Subscribe and turn on notifications because this league is spiraling and we're not looking away.